Welcome to week 1 of our 14-day cleanse. Week 1, we will be focusing on melons the first 1 to 3 days, and then days 4 through 7, we're going to add in some veggies and get some nutrients back into our system. So let's go ahead and get started on these melon recipes. I hope you guys enjoy them. I will say this, keep in mind the first 3 days are the toughest, but if you can control the flesh, you can control any aspect of your life, because this is a journey. And the more positive and pure choices that we make for our bodies, as well as our minds and our spirit, the more positive choices that we'll make for other aspects of our life as well. So let's get into it. So right now we are making our melon, which is cantaloupe, watermelon, as well as basil juice. So I'm just gonna scoop the seeds out of this cantaloupe. I already started juicing my watermelon before I started recording, but let's get into it. So I am actually going to save my seeds from my organic cantaloupe because I am gonna plant this in my garden. So I'm just gonna scoop the seeds out, set them to the side. And I'm juicing for my mother too. She's doing the 14-day cleanse. So I'm really excited about us just doing this together and her wanting to take advantage of her health and make better choices overall. That's what it's all about. All right, so easiest way to cut through this, I'm going to just cut 2 slices and cut it across. Don't be nervous for me, y'all. People say they always get nervous when they see me with a knife, but I will be all right. All right, so the reason I cut it this way, I'm just gonna take this off because I have a feeling it's gonna keep popping off anyway. But the reason I do that is because it makes it easier to just scoop out the cantaloupe rather than trying to get it in these, trying to cut around the skin, cut it off, which is another way that you can do it. I might do that with the other one to show you guys, but this way has always worked for me. Work smarter, not harder. If I'm working harder, let me know if you guys have any hacks for cutting melons. But all we did was pull the the cantaloupe from the skin. So then I can just dump it into here, just like that. And then I'm gonna get some basil and we're gonna toss that in here as well. But for those of you who are watching this, your melons are full of water. Full of water, full of iron, full of nutrients that are excellent for gut health. The reason why you juice melons, only with melons, is because of the rate that they metabolize and the rate that they digest within your system. Since it's mostly water, what happens when we drink a lot of water? You're constantly going to the bathroom and you're flushing out your kidneys, you're flushing out your bladder, you're flushing out your intestines even, because this melon and the water in it is actually hydrating your intestines. All right, so I'm just gonna cut around the edge like I did before. And I'm starting my cleanse early, just so you know. But yes, now we're just going to do the same thing, scoop around the edges to loosen up these chunks. Next week, whenever we are incorporating raw vegan food, this is also a great breakfast. Just get half of a cantaloupe, half of a honeydew, half of a sugar baby watermelon, and then just eat it just like that. Put a little bit of lime juice, put some herbs on it. It's a nice little tasty treat. All right. So this year, all melons are on the Clean 15. So if you don't have access to any organic seeded melons, it's okay for you to buy it conventional or local, which is best. Because then you know exactly where it's coming from. You know how long its shelf life has been. But yes, now we're just gonna turn this baby on and get started. So our cantaloupe juice is now done. We're just gonna add this with our watermelon juice, and we also got some basil in there as well. We're just gonna mix these together. Go. And this is our watermelon, cantaloupe, and basil juice. Next, we're gonna do our honeydew green tea cucumber juice. And that one is really good too. This next juice that we're doing is we're going to do honeydew and basil and cantaloupe. Melons right now, as I stated before, are on our Clean 15, which means that we can eat these conventional or local, and we don't have to worry about them being saturated with pesticides and herbicides. Although you should always wash the skins of your fruit, even your melons, before cutting into it, because guess what? This knife that you have, whenever it touches the skin and then you're cutting into the flesh, you can also contaminate the inside. So always make sure that you wash your melons on the outside. And again, we're going to scoop the seeds out of here. I got some basil from my hydroponic garden. I also have a little countertop one. That was my first one. It was only about 35, 40 bucks. And definitely a great investment. So that way you can always have fresh herbs on hand. You're not wasting your money by getting herbs and not using them all and having to toss them out, or trying to figure out how you're going to preserve them. So let me put this. There we go. And then, yeah, we're going to and get our melons going. Probably gonna fast forward this a little bit so that way you guys don't have to see me sitting here prepping the whole time, but I am excited about this journey that we are sharing together. But yeah, this is really exciting. You can hear the birds outside. I have all of my windows open right now. It's a beautiful day out. One last time. All right, now that we have those cuts, take this off again. And we can go ahead and start scooping out our melons, and then we can toss them into the juicer. Okay. So now we can dig in here deeper. I didn't cut that one yet. Okay. Honeydew tends to be a little bit softer than cantaloupe, so not gonna struggle much to get this out. Actually, let me go ahead and toss this in. Go. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on because it's getting kind of full. I'm gonna throw my basil inside. All right, so now we have, make sure I get all of this juice out. All right, so now we have, actually, because this container had melon juice in it, I just transferred it. So this is our honeydew and our cantaloupe and basil. All right, so. So the cantaloupe that I had was a little bit on the small side. This is what I mean when you guys are asking me about, you know, portions and how much of each. The reason why it's a little bit hard to gauge sometimes is because of the size of the fruit plays a role, as well as the type of juicer that you have also plays a role, and also just overall, not all fruits yield the same amount of juice. So with that being said, we have almost half a gallon of our honeydew, cantaloupe, basil, and this is from one smaller cantaloupe and then one larger honeydew, and then a handful of basil from the hydroponic garden. So that is our second juice. All right, and our third juice is gonna be a honeydew, cucumber, and green tea juice. This one is hydrating, it's energizing. It will give you everything it is that you need, especially if you're looking to change up the flavor profile in your juices. So let's get into it. We're gonna compost this skin from the cucumbers. And then perfection. So since my mother cannot have caffeine, I'm only doing a smaller portion of this one for myself. So this is the honeydew and green tea. I have my green tea right here already made in the glass. It's a little bit frothy because I just like mine to be mixed very well. And now I'm going to turn this off because my pulp is overflowing. All right, and then we're going to add our honeydew. Perfect. Turn that back on because there's still just a little bit. I think I can probably top this off, but this is the green tea, honeydew, cucumber juice. Let's give it a taste. Oh my God. This is so refreshing. It's kind of reminding me of a matcha latte. Don't know how, but it's giving like an iced matcha latte, even though it's melon and green tea. And then maybe the bitterness from the cucumber is adding some extra flavor profiles there. But this is the recipe for the cucumber honeydew green tea juice. Cheers. So we have completed our juices for days 1 through 3. The goal is to have 1 gallon of juice per day. So that would be 3 gallons total of melon juice. And I think that you'll enjoy the flavor profiles as well as the fact that you will be very hydrated. Don't forget to drink your herbal senna teas tonight and tomorrow night. So that way you can completely go through the true cleansing process. And let's go ahead and take a look at those juices one more time, just so you guys can get an idea of the colors and what they'll look like. So here are our juices. We have our honeydew green tea cucumber juice. We have our watermelon, basil, and cantaloupe. And then we have our honeydew, basil, and cantaloupe. So 3 melon juices, mix and match them how you like. The best way that I can describe these flavors, this one reminds me of like an orange dreamsicle. This one reminds me of a matcha latte, and just some good old super sweet watermelon juice is what this one is giving. So enjoy, check back in on Wednesday for our check-in call, and then we will go over some of our veggies to add on to our juices.